Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our debate moderators, George Stephanopoulos, David Muir, Lindsay Davis, and Jorge Ramos.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for this great welcome here at Texas Southern. We are so excited to be here. We're so excited for the debate. I can tell you guys are as well, and now I have to do my job. The candidates have asked us to please try to keep the cheers under control because it's hard for them to hear when you cheer, and it also takes their time away. So I know you're excited. We are too, but do your best to keep it under control.
TSU. I am excited. You guys excited? All right, let's do this.
So it's great to be here in Houston. I know this is a difficult time. It's a difficult time for many Latinos. Vamos a hablar español en el debate también. Y nuestras voces se van a escuchar fuerte. Our voices are going to be heard really, really loud.
Thank you for inviting us to this beautiful, historic university. The candidates are all here right behind this screen. We can't wait to introduce them to you all. And vámonos, right?
Vámonos.
Okay.
Gracias.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
This is yours, right?
Ready, guys? Here we go. And now it's time for the candidates, beginning with the former Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, Julián Castro.
Former Texas Congressman Beto O'Rourke.
Entrepreneur Andrew Yang.
California Senator Kamala Harris.
Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren.
Former Vice President Joe Biden.
Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders.
Mayor of South Bend, Indiana, Pete Buttigieg.
New Jersey Senator Cory Booker.
And Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar.
Ladies and gentlemen, your 10 candidates. Debate's going to start in just a couple minutes.
And you heard George Stephanopoulos say it right there. We are just minutes away from the Democratic debate right here on ABC. Matt, Dad, I want to start with you now in our lightning round. This is going to be the last round of the panel because we're minutes away from this debate. Matt, you told me earlier there's a lot of big, bold ideas from the Democrats we're seeing here on stage. But you said tonight candidates need to connect with people and voters on a personal level.
Yeah, in the end, this race is not going to be decided on ideology. It's going to be decided on how people link up with these voters in their culture that they're in. And so to me, this debate is much more about tone, much more about energy, much more about connection than it is some policy specifics that they may argue.
Ram, Vice President Joe Biden made one of his final moves before the debate starts to show a video of him basically bear hugging President Obama. Smart move. Why is he doing that?
I think he also got a hug back.
Yeah, he did.
But no, yeah, it's a smart move. It's his calling card. It's why he has the strength he has among Democratic voters, is because he served with a very, very popular president. It's what surprised me in the last debate when people were throwing the president under the bus. I mean, you have a person who's at 90-some-odd% popularity with Democrats. That is not a smart strategy. I do agree with Matt. This is going to be about the energy. There's more about a chemistry that you're going to associate. And the closer the candidate can put their own story with the story of where people live their lives, the better they're going to be. They're not going to follow all the details about this policy versus that policy. It's about relating and they feeling that they can relate to that candidate and that they understand them where they live their lives.
Yvette Simpson, break it down for us. Why has Elizabeth Warren been really the only one who has caught fire recently? What is she doing right?
You know, we predicted this, right? She was the one, unlike Biden, unlike Bernie, who already had a lot of name ID. Like, people knew her, but they didn't really know her. And now she's getting out there and people are getting to know her, her energy, her ideas, the fact that she connects personally. These are all the things we've talked about that people want to see. And so she's got a lot of energy. She knows how to talk to people and say, I've got a plan for that, and let me show you how I'm going to do it. And people want real solutions right now. People are suffering. We've talked about this. Healthcare costs are rising. People are concerned about climate. She's got answers on it, and not only that, but she connects it to the heart. And I think that's really why she's seeing a lot of momentum right now.
Senator Heitkamp, if you're fighting for your life tonight, do you need to go on the attack, or do you need to come out with a big idea?
No, I think ideas aren't what's going to win it. You need to show that you can command that stage with President Trump. This is a casting call for the Democratic candidate who is going to do the best job against Donald Trump, and that candidate is going to be somebody who is going to have the image of presidential capability and be able to stand up to Trump and actually win a debate against that president.
Devin, you're on the trail. Is that what voters are telling you? They want to hear how this Democrat can beat President Trump?
Yeah, they want to hear the truth, Tom. In fact, you know, the past few days as we've been reporting around the suburbs here in Houston, they want what everyone said here. They want authenticity. They want direct answers. They don't want the spin. They can see through it. And, you know, Thomas Friedman, the oldest debate coach of any HBCU, gave an interview with us today. He's 100 years old, been teaching debate here for 70 years. He said the secret to being a good debater is devotion to the truth. Not winning the argument, but telling the truth. And I think that's what I've heard from voters.
And if you can't do that, fake it.
Or that. Fake it till
No, there is. Listen, I mean, President Clinton got the kid from Hope, and his story was relatable to where people were living their lives. President Obama was about the audacity of hope and what his candidacy embodied and what it meant for them in the country. And it is very important to relate to people and be relatable, where they can understand what is in here. They're going to pull the hood up, and we've seen it. All of us who've been helping candidates or run ourselves. People are going to, the voters that are watching tonight and thinking about becoming Democrats in this upcoming election, they're going to see what moves this. Not just the ideas, but what motivates that idea. Not just what that policy is to that problem, but why do you want to care about that? Why did you put that at the top of the list?
Mary Bruce, I want to go to you. You've been on the campaign trail as well. And something that strikes me, that sort of stands out to me, you have all these bold plans, these big ideas. You have candidates who talk about a generational shift, yet the three top-tier candidates are all in their 70s.
Exactly. It is surprising, given especially so much focus on younger voters, and yet you do. The top three candidates in the polls are all septuagenarians, and they are also getting some criticism for their age. It's one of the top questions, an issue that often comes out when you're talking with voters is, do they feel that these candidates can relate to them, can relate to younger voters, given this generational divide? But clearly it isn't hurting them in the polls. I have to tell you, though, Tom, this is a fairly young crowd, and they are pretty rowdy and fired up here. It's pretty remarkable. I think we were talking about the loudest chants that we heard actually were for the hometown candidates, Beto O'Rourke and Julián Castro.
Yeah,
sure.
Definitely. You know, I'm curious to see who will seize this particular moment, this particular place, right? There have been 3 mass shootings since the last debate, 2 in Texas, gun control tonight, the racial divide in America. We're at one of the largest historically black colleges in the country and one of the most diverse cities in America. Who will seize upon those 2 things?
Look, I'm wishing the moderators good luck, too.
You've done this.
Trying to keep this crowd quiet, because so far they're pretty enthused and pretty excited about this tonight. It's one thing that I would say that we should all watch for, too. I know all those candidates are going to try and get the attention of the moderator in some way or another. It might be an eye roll. It might be raising the hand. We've seen this before. But the moderators have to kind of keep the peace there and figure out how to handle it.
And we're all expecting that big moment, you know, Warren versus Biden, Bernie versus Biden. Biden, the two of them ganging up on Biden. But I'll tell you, one word of caution here is the Democratic voters, you're out there talking to them almost every day. They want somebody that's going to take the fight to Donald Trump. They don't like the infighting among Democrats.
And you mentioned those three top contenders, the top tier right now. It's also those folks on the side, the flanks that we really have to watch. They need a moment. Castro needs a moment tonight. Harris definitely needs a moment. There's a lot on the line for her. She came out on fire after that first debate. Her poll numbers shot up, her endorsements shot up, her money shot up, and then she just sort of dropped and fell flat. She really needs to stay in this race for her. It's do or die right now.
There were loud applause for Beto O'Rourke, who's the hometown guy, right, from El Paso. But I know a lot of people in this room say, if you don't do well tonight, run for the Senate.
And it is a big question. The candidates on the wings, they want that moment, but they do have to pick that moment carefully because as we saw in the last debate, if you go too hard, you make too many attacks against one of the front runners, it can backfire. And then you have to be ready to capitalize on any big moment that you've had. We saw that with Harris, as you mentioned. She had that boost, but her campaign hasn't really been able to sustain it going forward.
They have to turn that moment into momentum, and some of them have been unable to do that, and that's what they're trying to do. And try to inspire, really try to reach people, and not just can you fight Donald Trump, can you bring the country together? Which candidate do they think can do that?
And differentiate yourself. That's the big factor tonight for so many of these folks on the stage.
So much for us to be keeping a close eye on. Well, the stage is set. The field has been narrowing slowly. Everyone down here is getting ready. Tom, back to you.
Thanks so much. Last final thoughts. What are you guys hoping to see tonight?
Well, the pass the torch arguments stick, Tom. We saw it in the first debate. The millennials and the Gen X candidates have been hanging out in the wings. Can they resurrect that argument?
I think that you're going to have two debates, not one debate. You're going to have obviously what will focus on the energy of Biden and Warren, but who's going to fill that third seat? And there's a lot of candidates for that third seat. When the music stops, only one of them are going to get that seat.
Big, bold ideas, energy, compassion. Will you take care of me? Will you solve my problems?
Watch the wings. See who emerges, who can challenge the top three.
We're an energy city, Houston's energy city, and a lot's going to depend on can the leaders keep the fuel in the gas tank, and can the outliers put more fuel in the tank to survive after tonight?
So much at stake. The 10 candidates for the first time on a single stage. Vice President Joe Biden, Senator Elizabeth Warren, also Senator Bernie Sanders. For the first time, we're going to watch this all play it live. We cannot wait for the excitement. It's just about to start. The candidates have taken to the podium right now. We are less than a minute away from all this action happening right on ABC News and, of course, on ABC News Live. Hulu streaming all across the world tonight. For one of the first times in the world, people can watch on their app and watch every moment by moment. Also a reminder, we have a big post-debate show as well with this powerhouse panel. We also have, on top of that, our team of reporters and correspondents upstairs as well for all the action that's happening there on the stage. And of course, we will be talking to the candidates live. We're expecting nearly all the candidates, if not all of them, to come right here to the spin room and talk with ABC News after the debates. Regardless if they have a big night, regardless if they have a bad night, we're going to press them and we're going to make sure to talk to them. For us, we're done here now in the spin room. Let's get down to the main room, the debate hall. Chief anchor George Stephanopoulos, he is 15 seconds away from a major night in politics. We thank you.
The stage is set. The field has been narrowed for one night only. The top 10 candidates are here. Our Democratic primary debate starts right now.
This is an ABC News special.
I will be a president for every American.
This is our moment.
We are in a struggle for the future of this country.
We fight for our country. That's the nature of who we are.
Right now, we can act. We're in the midst of the greatest economic transformation. We have overcome worse times, darker moments than this. We will make the most of this moment that we have here together.
We are on a march together.
We're going to win by being bold. We're going to win by being fearless.
Live from Texas Southern University in Houston, Texas. Here now, Chief Anchor George Stephanopoulos.
Good evening and welcome to Houston. We are live from Texas Southern University for tonight's Democratic debate. The top 10 candidates are here. It's going to start right now, and on the stage you see them. They have all met the criteria set by the Democratic National Committee. At least 10 others have not met the threshold. So for the first time in this primary, a single debate in a single night with all the top candidates facing off. It is a critical test for candidates and their campaigns at a critical time for our country. They're going to lay out their vision for the country, their records, their differences with President Trump and each other. And we're going to do our best to bring you a lively, informative, and civil debate. I'm joined here tonight by my ABC colleague, World News Tonight anchor David Muir, our national correspondent Lindsay Davis, and Jorge Ramos from our partner network, Univision. Jorge?
George, thank you very much. We appreciate the opportunity to welcome Latinos across the country and to ask about Latinx issues during these challenging times. En este país también se habla español. Este debate se realiza en un momento muy difícil para los latinos en Texas y en todo Estados Unidos, pero es importante que ellos sepan, que sepamos que este también es nuestro país. Let me just give you a little translation here. I'm telling Latinos that despite the fact that we are facing difficult times, this is our country too. Lindsay.
We are delighted to be on the beautiful campus of Texas Southern University, one of the largest historically black colleges and universities in the country. And here in the Health and Physical Education building tonight, we are joined by a live audience of 3,500 people, most invited by the Democratic National Committee, and of course, some of the brightest minds of the student body here at TSU. Go Tigers!
We can feel the energy in the room, can't we, Lindsay? The rules of this debate are very basic tonight and have been agreed to by all the campaigns in advance. Candidates will have 1 minute, 15 seconds to answer a direct question and 45 seconds for a rebuttal or response, as directed by one of the moderators. Candidates will each see green and yellow lights, there you see them right there, indicating how much time they have remaining. And when time is up, the light will turn red. Candidates who interrupt will be subject to having their time reduced later on. But this is democracy, the great American experiment, and the candidates are here tonight to make their case.
The podium places based on their current standings in nationally recognized polls with the leading candidates in the center. All candidates have been told they can have 1 minute to make an opening statement, and we're going to begin in reverse polling order with Secretary Julián Castro.
Good evening. Y bienvenidos a Texas. Welcome to Texas. It's great to be here at TSU, home of the Tigers. You know, on January 20th, 2021, at 12:01 p.m., we're going to have a Democratic president, a Democratic House, and a Democratic Senate. There will be life after Donald Trump. But the truth is that our problems didn't start just with Donald Trump. And we won't solve them by embracing old ideas. We need a bold vision. Universal pre-K and universal health care, unleashing millions of new jobs in the clean energy economy, a tax system that rewards people who have to work for a living. But first we have to win. And that means exciting a young, diverse coalition of Americans who are ready for a bold future. That's what Kennedy did. It's what Carter did. It's what Clinton did.